Okay, I'd like to demonstrate a little bit about how deep the Solaris is and how much you can do with it and how modular it is in a sense. Right now we're looking at oscillator 1, which I've set to a wavetable oscillator. There's actually oscillator 1 and 2 going at the same time, but that's alright. Now we're looking at the modulations, and right now envelope generator 2 is heavily modifying both oscillators, as is the LFOs, but they don't all happen all at the same time. So let me pan down to the LFOs. There it is. It's a sample and hold at a normal modulation rate, but I made it a sample and hold so you could hear the effect more. And the cool thing is that I've delayed the start of the LFO by 6 seconds and made it fade in over a 1 second period. And when you lift the keys, it'll fade out over a 2 second period. So it's a gradual effect. This is envelope generator 2, which was the envelope that we saw a moment ago that modulated the two oscillators. And you can see it's got a 290 millisecond delay before it even starts moving, a 6.5 second attack, a 1 second delay, and sustains pretty low and releases after a second. Just for reference, every segment can go as long as 20 seconds, which is just crazy long. So let me set it back to 6.5. The longer ones go by half seconds because there's hardly any difference between 19.5 seconds and 20 seconds when you're talking about that amount of time. So here's the sound, and remember there were delays before things started to happen. That's because this is basically 3 sounds in one. So if you play it without holding keys down, you get this. It's a nice shimmering, gliding, quote-unquote typical synth sound, but if you then go and hold it down for a while, you can hear how the envelope generators come in to change the shape of the wavetables. In other words, it's sweeping the wavetable very slowly. And then when that's done, the LFO, which has a 6 second delay, kicks in, and that gives it a kick with the sample and hold. So what happens is you have a 1/3 of a second delay and then a 6.5 second attack on the envelope generators, which sweeps the wavetable, and that's almost 7 seconds. And what happens on the LFO is it waits 6 seconds through the delay, fades in for 1 second, so that's 7 seconds. So what happens is you get another sound on top of that. So that's just a quick and dirty example of how deep the Solaris is, and it goes way beyond that. That's just a very simple sort of modulation. And the other thing is that I use 2 sources, the LFO1 and envelope generator 2, but almost every parameter has 4 sources of modulation. So you can really go crazy with the thing, both subtle and wild. And that's just an example of how deep I've found the Solaris to be.